Good morning, children. Welcome back. Today we will start with our fourth chapter of history, that is literary heritage of India. Now, in the previous videos, we have started about the sculpture and the architecture, and India, right from the ancient time, was famous for its sculpture and architecture. Now, we will move to the topic of literary heritage. That is, India was famous for its literary works also. Literary means what? The books which we read, the script, the language, all the things are being included in the literary work. Now, how does this had been started? First of all, in the ancient time, in the very olden days, man used to, how they used to tell each other, or if they want to convey some message, how they used to convey their message to each other. They used to take the help of the expressions, through facial expressions or through the hand expressions. Okay? They used to express their feelings. Then they started using symbols. Then they started using drawings. Then sounds, different type of sounds they used to convey. Okay, this way they used to give the messages. Slowly and gradually, what happened? This led to the development of dialects and script. Dialects means what? Dialogue form. And then from the dialogue form, it came up to the script. Script means the written work. पहले dialogue form में बोला जाता था. They used to convey their messages in the dialogues, and then they started writing also. And then from the scripts, the languages came up. The different type of languages. From one language, another language had been coming up. Okay. Now, in the history, if we see which is the most ancient language in India, it is Sanskrit language. Okay, Sanskrit is the mother of many Indian languages, isn't it? Right from the ancient time, Sanskrit is considered as the most ancient Indian language. The Vedas, the Upanishads, the Purans, and the Dharma Sutras all were written down in Sanskrit. By reading about the languages and literature created in the past, we shall be able to understand our civilization better and appreciate the diversity and richness of our culture. Everything was written down in Sanskrit language. All the Vedas, the Purans, the Dharma Sutras were written down in Sanskrit. And people also started using this language in their daily use. Nowadays, you see, we don't use the Sanskrit language in our daily life. But previously it was being, or in the ancient time it was being used. Okay. Now, Sanskrit is the most ancient language of India. The literature in Sanskrit is vast, beginning with the most ancient thought embodied in the Rig Veda, the oldest literary heritage of mankind, and the Zen Avastha. It was Sanskrit that gave impetus to the study of linguistics scientifically during the 18th century. Okay. This Sanskrit language only gave an impetus. Impetus means a speed to the scientific languages. Scientific languages means now you are doing your computer work. This computer was also being first initiated in which language? Sanskrit language. The great grammarian Panani analyzed Sanskrit and its word formation in his unrivaled descriptive grammar Ashtadhyayi. Okay, now Panani, okay, he was a great grammarian and he had written down his book known as Ashtadhyayi in grammar. Sanskrit was considered as the language of Aryans. We have studied about the Aryans who came to India. They also used the Sanskrit language. Sanskrit is considered as the language of sages or the language of scholars. Sanskrit is the best language for computer use. Okay, I told you the initial computers were being made in Sanskrit. Okay, nowadays we all have translated everything in English or Hindi or any other language, but initially computers were started in Sanskrit language. So Sanskrit was considered as the best language for computers. Sanskrit is the chief language for knowledge, science, religion and philosophy. Now, ancient Indian literature. Now, from where does our literature start? The Indian literature. Now, during the Harappan civilization, I told you the seals had been found out in which something or the other was being written down. But till today, it has not been known. It has not been disappeared. What had been written down in that seals, isn't it? किसी ने अभी तक पहचान नहीं पाए हैं कि वो seals में क्या बोला जा रहा है. But after that, the Indian literature, which is known literature, is starting from Vedas. Now what does Vedas mean? The Vedas means knowledge. Okay. The Vedas are the earliest known literature in India. The Vedas were written in Sanskrit and were handed down orally from one generation to the other. They were written down, all the Vedas were written down in Sanskrit language, but how they used to hand it over to the next generation? They used to learn all the things, orally. They used to see all the things orally, learn it and pass it on to the next generation, means to their children. The word Veda literally means knowledge. In Hindu culture, Vedas are considered as eternal and divine revelations. Means हमारा जो भी कल्चर है, हमारे जो भी ट्रेडिशंस हैं, हम जो भी सीख रहे हैं, वट एवर हिंदुइज्म इज, दैट हैज़ बीन स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम वेदास. ओके, वेदास इज फुल ऑफ नॉलेज अबाउट हिंदुइज्म. देर आर 4 वेदास, नेमली द ऋग वेदा, यजुर्वेदा, सामवेद एंड अथर्ववेद. Each Veda consists of Brahmanas, the Upanishads and the Aryankas. Each and every Vedas is again distributed in Brahmanas, Upanishads and Aryankas. See the 4 Vedas, Rigved, Samved, Atharved and Yajurved. Now Vedas contains eternal truth, realized by rishis and revealed by them by gods, collection of hymns, prayers, sacrificial rituals, magic and nature poetry. Now first one is the Rig Veda. Rig Veda is a collection of 1028 hymns in praise of gods and creation. So first of all, in Rig Veda there is a collection of 1028 sloks, we can say, or verses. Samved containing sloks or hymns, mostly from Rig Veda, to be chanted during sacrifice in which the juice of som plant was offered. Now in Samved, we can say out of them it is composed of the verses which has to be recited during the time of performance of the yagnas. Yajurved dealing with details of rituals and sacrifice, how to perform all this. Okay, how the rituals and sacrifices has to be performed is given in Yajurved. And Atharved dealing with spells, magic and charms. Okay, how to परफॉर्म, वी कैन अगेन से डिस्क्राइब द टाइप्स ऑफ रिचुअल्स एंड संस्कारास, कैसे कैसे एक एक चीज़ परफॉर्म करनी है, पूरा अथर्ववेद में दिया गया है. नाउ सी लिटिल बिट इन डिटेल द कलेक्शन इज, द फर्स्ट वन इज द ऋग्वेद. ऋग्वेद इज द अर्लीस्ट ऑफ ऑल द वेदास. इट इज़ अ कलेक्शन ऑफ 1028 hymns in Vedic Sanskrit. Many of these are beautifully descriptions of nature. जो भी श्लोक्स हैं, mostly they are the descriptions of nature. The prayers are largely for seeking worldly prosperity. Okay, how to attain the prosperity, peace, harmony, इन सब के लिए prayers हैं in the Rig Veda. The most often addresses gods for nature like Indra, okay, the rain god or the god of heavens, then Agni, the fire god, Rudra, the storm god, then Soma, the drought or immortality, and alcoholic brew. So whatever are the hymns or the slokas in the name of different gods and goddesses. Second is the Samved. Sam means melody or songs. It is a collection of so many songs and how to recite these songs. This Veda consists of 16,000 ragas and raginis or musical notes. Out of the total 1,875 verses, only 75 are original and others are from Rig Veda. So many verses are there, 1875. Out of them, 75 are original, new ones, and others have been taken from Rig Veda. The Samved prescribes the tunes for the recitation of the hymns of the Rig Veda. It may be called the book of chants or saman. जो भी श्लोक्स हैं उसमें कैसी ट्यून जाएगी, that is being described in Samved. This book is an evidence of the development of Indian music during this period. What all music has been created during the time of this Samved. Next is Yajurved. Yajur means sacrifice or worship. This Veda is concerned mostly with rites and mantras of different sacrifices. हमको अलग अलग पूजा करनी है, यज्ञ करने हैं, तो उसमें कैसे राइट्स जाएंगे. राइट्स मीन्स हमको कैसे फॉलो करना है, कौन से वे में हमको वो पूजा करना है, that is being explained in Yajurved. It gives directions for the performance of the yagnas. कैसे पूरा यज्ञ परफॉर्म करना है, that directions are being given in Yajurved. There are two major branches of Yajurved, namely Shukla Krishna Yajurved, that is Yajnasayi Samhita and Taittiriya Samhita. These are the two branches of Yajurved. Next is Atharved. The Atharved is also known as Brahma Veda. It contains treatment for 99 diseases. Now Atharved, it is again collection of how to perform the rituals or the sanskaras, कैसे perform करना है, plus इसमें disease को कैसे cure करना है वो भी बताया गया है. The source of this Veda is traced to two rishis called Atharva and Angiras. The Atharved is of immense value as it represents the religious ideas at an early period of civilization. It has two branches, the Pepalada and the Saunaka. This book gives detailed information about the family, social and political life of later Vedic period. हमको उस टाइम के जो फैमिली लाइफ है, सोशल लाइफ है, उनके बारे में भी जानने को मिलता है from this Atharved. Next are the Upanishads. Now the Upanishad literature gives us the description and analysis of the beginning of the universe, the mysteries of life, the death, the materialistic and the spiritual world. Okay. The word Upanishad is derived from Upa. Upa means nearby and Nishad means to sit down. That is sitting down near. That is Upanishads. There are more than 200 known Upanishads. One of which is Muktika gives a list of 108 Upanishads. This number corresponds to the holy number of beads on a mala or Hindu rosary. Okay, उसमें we can say one of the main Upanishads is Muktika. उसमें 108 Upanishads बताए गए हैं and 108 is we can see हमारे हिंदुइज्म में जिसमें भी अगर तुम माला वगैरह लोगे तो number of beads are how many? 108. Now Brihadanya and Chindogya are the earliest Upanishads in the dialogue form. Next are the Brahmanical literature, the Brahmanas and the Aryankas. Now these books give a detailed explanation of Vedic rituals and instructions and deal with the science and sacrifice. Again the same, it gives the explanation of how to perform the rituals, how to perform the sacrifices. Okay. The later portions of the Brahmanas were called as Aryankas. Brahmanas के बाद उसका पीछे के portion को क्या बोलते हैं? Aryankas. While the final parts of the Aryankas and the philosophic book named as Upanishads, which belong to the later stage of the Brahmana literature. The Aryankas deal with the soul, birth and death and life beyond it. Aryankas में भी यही बताया गया है कि what is life, what is death, birth क्या है, life में हमको क्या क्या करना है, then what happens after death. Okay, all this is being explained in Aryankas. Then these were studied and taught by men in Vanaprastha, that is Munis and the inhabitants living inside the forest. All this about the books Aryankas के बारे में या Brahmanas के बारे में कौन समझाता था? Those Rishi Munis, those who were living in the forest areas. They used to go and do the deep meditation, and जब उनको पूरा ज्ञान आ जाता था तो they used to explain everything to the other people. The last is the Vedangas. The Vedangas literature deals with the religious practice, the rituals, again the grammar, astrology and astronomy. Vedangas are also divided into 6 sections. अलग अलग parts में divide किया गया है and each and every part explains. One part will explain the grammar, the another part explains about the astrology, another with astronomy. Okay. Now this is the picture of the Vedic literature, that is the Aryankas. See, everything is written down in Sanskrit, and this is the book that has been we can say written down afterwards. बाद में बहुत सारे लोगों ने they had done the translation from Sanskrit to English or to Hindi or to the other languages. So this is one of the Vedangas being translated. Now we come to the epics. Epics are what? These are the big stories, isn't it? From which we learn something, which teach us something. The Ramayana, that is composed in 5th century BC, 3rd century AD by Valmiki, and Mahabharata, composed during the time of 400 BC to 400 AD by Vyasa, are the two great Sanskrit epics of ancient India, which, straddling the expanse of centuries, still have a pervasive influence on the minds of millions of Indians. Still today, after so many thousands of years also, still we see or we hear the stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata, and still it influence our life. स्टिल हमारी दादी माँ हमको उन्हीं बुक्स में से जो भी स्टोरीज है उसका ज्ञान देकर हमको लाइफ के बारे में, व्हाट इज़ ट्रूथ, व्हाट इज़ राइट, व्हाट इज़ रॉन्ग, दे स्टिल टीचर्स. ओके, सी दीज आर द बुक्स, द रामायणास, वाल्मीकि's रामायणास एंड महाभारता by Vyasa. Now Ramayana, it was written by Valmiki in the time period 500 BC to 200 AD. It has nearly about 96,000 lines in 7 books. Ramayana is the story of Lord Ramachandra, the king of Ayodhya. And this Ramayana, comparatively to Mahabharata, it is a smaller epic. It has also got very small stories, but all the connecting stories make a big adventurous story of Lord Rama. Next is Mahabharata, written by Vyasa. Now it is the longest book in the world, longest poem book in the world. It is this book describes about the war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and Bhagavad Gita is also a part of Mahabharata. This Mahabharata is the greatest epic of India. It was written down during the time period of 500 BC, and it has got nearly 1 lakh verses, describing the war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And in that Gita, Gita conveys the message of achieving the moksha and salvation through jnana, karma and bhakti. Up to this, during the time period of Sanskrit literature, it has got a combination of so many, Sanskrit work has got the combination of so many religious things, isn't it? Now among them also are the Purans. The Purans occupy a unique position in the sacred literature of the Hindus. Some of the well-known Purans are the Brahma, Bhagavad, Padma, Vishnu, Vyaya, Agni, Matsya and Garuda. Purans are mythological works which propagate religious and spiritual messages through parable and fables. Purans में भी stories वगैरह बताई गई हैं which give us the religious and the spiritual messages. Now even the Sanskrit work during this time period when the Sanskrit was going on, many scriptures and Smriti Granths were composed. These scriptures dealt with science and philosophy. पूरा science and philosophy के बारे में भी बताया गया था. And among them, the Kautilya's Arthashastra, and that time written down in Sanskrit. It is a book of management. See, this is a picture of Kautilya. He had written down the book Arthashastra, in which he had covered so many topics of arts, maths, science, the laws, the customs, the religious teachings of that time, or even the social and the political life of that time. Every topic was covered in this book, Arthashastra, and this book was written by Kautilya. Now all these topics, it's a big topic about the ancient Indian literature. I have covered nearly half of the topic. Now the other half, the Buddhist literature, the Gujarati literature and the Dravidian literature of the ancient literature, I am covering in the next video. All these topics are given on your page number 30 and 31 of your textbook. Go through it, have a read on it. Thank you beta, have a nice day.